There we go. Okay, hopefully we're working now. I don't know what the deal with that was. Good morning. Hello, YouTube. Apologies for the hiccup there. All right, gotta try and find you guys now. Where's my YouTube studio? Come on. Gotta make sure this is working. It should be. Okay, there we go. There we are. Thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, please. Morning. All right, looks like we're good. Now then, let me get us cooking over here. I don't know what I have since I last saw you guys, but let's see. Oh yeah, seen all this. Cool. We'll just jump right on into Steph's pile because now she's been at it all morning. Oh, come on. Down we go. Down we go. Oh yeah, we already got a whole bunch to cover. That's fantastic. Oh. All right. Cool. Some review from the 60 Minutes interview. Quite good. Yeah, we'll pick up there. Schedule for the day today. President participates in a Virginia tele rally. So he won't be actually there. He'll be phoning it in. And then he participates in a excuse me. Another tele rally, this time for New Jersey. And that's it. That's all that's on the schedule today. Hegseth is visiting, the DMZ? Really? Apparently visiting the Korean border, yep. Interesting. Come on now.
We are now approaching.
Oh, what the heck? Well, that probably explains everything. Idiot. I plugged my Mac dock in the wrong USB port, which always seems to screw things up. That explains a lot. That explains the mic being screwed up. Yeah. Now my sound's coming out of the wrong speaker. I don't know if you guys are hearing it. Give me a sec. I'm gonna adjust that. Weird. Okay. Try that. Much better.
Democrats. More than a air traffic snarls out of it. This week.
And you guys are not seeing that either, are you? It's freaking screwed everything up. There we go.
Food aid for more than 42 million Americans is set to expire. What are you doing as president to end the shutdown?
Well, what we're doing is we keep voting. I mean, the Republicans are voting almost unanimously to end it, and the Democrats keep voting against ending it. You know, they've never had this. This has happened like 18 times before. The Democrats always voted for an extension, always saying, give us an extension, we'll work it out. They've lost their way. They become crazed lunatics. And all they have to do, Nora, is say, let's vote.
We are now approaching the longest
We can make it much less expensive for people and give them much better health care.
But where's
and
that
I'd
plan?
be willing to
But
work
where's
with the
that plan?
Democrats on it. The problem is they want to give money to prisoners, to drug dealers, to all these millions of people that were allowed to come in with an open border from Biden, and nobody can do that. Not one Republican would
Yep.
ever do that. We can make it much less expensive for people.
What happens to your economic plan if the Supreme Court invalidates your tariff?
Everything goes boom. That would be terrible news for everyone.
I think our country will be immeasurably hurt.
Yeah.
I think our economy will go to hell. Look, because of tariffs, we have the highest stock market we've ever had. Because of tariffs, 401ks at the highest level, and this is millions and millions of people that we've ever had 401ks. I think it's the most important subject discussed by the Supreme Court in 100 years.
What?
Yeah. I mean, they're already discussing a bunch of other incredibly important items, and yeah, this one definitely at the top of the list. Okay, healthcare.
And I was looking into it. 3/4 of these people will see their healthcare premiums double. Live in states where you won in the last election. I mean, even here in Florida has the highest number of residents on Obamacare in the country.
And I'm saying we can fix it, Nora.
You have helped end these government shutdowns in the past when it came about, and you did it by bringing.
I'm very good at it,
You
but
brought
I'm not
members
going to
of
do it by.
Congress.
I'm not going to do
the
it by
White House.
extortion. I'm not going to do it by being extorted by the Democrats who have lost their way. There's something wrong with these people.
So then what happens on November
is a
15th when the
basket
troops
case.
don't get a paycheck?
Schumer is a basket case, and he has nothing to lose. He's become, I just left Japan, he's become a kamikaze pilot.
Sounds like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate.
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree to something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
And I was looking.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. Ending the filibuster. Yeesh. It'd be pretty foolish of them to allow that to happen. Will they? I don't know. All right, Trump on Democrat-run cities.
This past Tuesday, while speaking to American troops in Japan, you talked about U.S. cities that are having trouble with crime. And you said, if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard. What does that mean, send more than the National Guard?
Well,
Ooh.
if you had to send in the Army or if you had to send in the Marines, I'd do that in a heartbeat. You know, you have a thing called the Insurrection Act. You know that, right? Do you know that I could use that immediately and no judge can even challenge
Indeed.
you on that? But I haven't chosen to do it because I haven't felt we need it.
So you're going to send the military into American cities?
Well, if I wanted to, I could. If I wanted to use the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act has been used routinely by presidents, and if I needed it, that would mean I could bring in the Army, the Marines, I could bring in whoever I want. But I haven't chosen to use it. I hope you give me credit for that.
Do they? No. Of course not. This is a great one.
When will you declare mission accomplished on immigration?
Well, it takes
When they're all gone.
a long time because, you know, probably I say 25 million people were let into our country. A lot of people say it was 10 million people, but whether it was 10 or I believe I'm much closer to the right number. Of the 25, many of them
Oh, is that Methods? What's up? Good to see you out there. Hello. Caught you on X briefly. Comment the other day. Good to see you. Hello.
should not be here. But we're cleaning up our cities. You know, I campaigned on crime, but I've done a much better job on crime than I thought. You know, the crime numbers are way down, even though we have a lot more people in our country that really shouldn't be here, and many of them are stone cold, hard criminals.
Yep.
When will you declare mission?
This is an excellent interview he did all around. Just knocked it out of the park from all I've seen. I still haven't watched the entire full, like, extended 73-minute cut yet, but he just killed it. Fantastic.
I know you have said that Xi Jinping wouldn't dare move militarily on Taiwan while you're in office. But what if he does? Would you order U.S. forces to defend Taiwan?
You'll find out if it happens. And he
Yeah, what if pigs grew wings and flew, Nora?
understands the answer to that.
Why not say
This
it?
never even came up yesterday as a subject. He never brought it up. People were a little surprised at that. He never brought it up because he understands it, and he understands it very well.
Do you mind if I ask, when you say he understands, why not communicate that publicly to the rest of us? What does he
I don't want
understand?
to give away. I can't give away my secrets. I don't want to be one of these guys that tells you exactly what's going to happen if something happens. The other side knows, but I'm not somebody that tells.
Oh, hey, Methods. Do you know of any of the other old heads who've been brought back onto YouTube having like really weird issues? I'm like completely unable to chat in my own live chat. It's the craziest freaking thing. I can't. Let's see if it's still going on. Let's see. Just curious if anyone else has been hit with odd little ailments like this. Yep. Still can't do it. Still can't chat in my own chat. Was able to for like the first 2 weeks, and then just gone. I'm still able to live stream and comment on videos. I can't chat in my own live chat. I can chat in other people's live chats, but I can't chat in mine. Fucking bullcrap. Oh, you haven't even gotten yours back yet? That sucks. What the heck? Are they still doing like waves of people? No, Red Pill 78 got his back. I don't know exactly when, but it seemed like pretty recent. You still have not gotten yours back, huh? The heck. I don't know why. Like maybe we were one of the first to get ours back. We must have been like the first load, first handful. We were also one of the first banned too. So I don't know if they're doing it like in the order that they banned them. That'd be kind of goofy. Yeah, that sucks. What the heck? Look at we have recently denied you. Yeah. Yep. I thought that for a while too, because people were telling me that the channel was back, and then I went and tried to like log in, and I kept getting that, but turned out the entire time I was trying to log into the wrong account. I was trying to log into some other like a secondary channel that we tried to create after they banned us the first time, and they banned us again. So they didn't unban any of those secondary or tertiary accounts. They did unban the original. I just had to figure out what the login info was. It took forever. It was so crazy. Almost didn't do it. Almost was unable to figure out what the password was. It would have been heartbreaking. But we got it. We got it. I hope they do you really soon. That's how many subs did you have? You're getting pretty. You're pretty good, right? You're up there. I mean, most of your audience was on Twitter, if I remember right. Were you terribly active on YouTube? It's been so long. It's been freaking like 6 years. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I'll wait for your answer though. Let's go to the next clip here. Trump on Biden and Obama. Let's see.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother,
Oh, all this bullshit. Okay.
tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough because we've been held back by the judges, by the liberal judges that were put in by Biden and by Obama.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out. You know, you have to look at the people. Many of them are murderers.
And then the rest of them have to go too.
Many of them are people that were thrown out of their countries because they were, criminals.
More recently, Americans have been watching videos of ICE tackling a
Wow, so you're at 50K ish when they took you down. Yeah. I think we were at like 80 like 82, and when we came back, we'd lost like maybe 5,000 people. It wasn't that bad. So hopefully, imagine most of yours will still be there too. I'm confident they'll get to you. They better, because if not, it's just fucked up. Or pardon me, but it is. I don't know. Can you say that on YouTube anymore? You drop F-bombs? Still haven't received a clear answer on that. Oh, well, I just did, so, whatever.
James Comey, John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted. There's a pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political retribution?
You know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted by that. I haven't caught up with him in forever, so. Don't even get me started on the brokenness of my Twitter account. My socials are held up by duct tape and hope. Yeah. I gave up on Twitter forever ago. Even, under Elon, it honestly hasn't really improved at all, in my opinion. I don't know that that'll make me a lot of friends, but I'm not terribly impressed with how Mr. Musk has run Twitter. Because we're in the same position. Like, it still hasn't improved after all these years. I gave up even trying years ago. I just troll a little bit here and there. I'm sure you've seen, like, if you've clicked on the PSB account, I just don't bother anymore. Same on my personal. It's just, what's even the point? It's all AstroTurf bullcrap. Sucks. But, them's the breaks.
Is this retribution on your
No, it's
part?
the opposite. I think I've been very mild-mannered. You're looking at a man who was indicted many times, and I had to beat the rap. Otherwise, I couldn't have run for president. They tried to get me not to run for president by going after me and by indicting me.
Is this...
Oh, that's cool. Good for you. Dreams that turn to ministry and outreach. I must confess I haven't checked in on you in a little bit, but I will definitely be doing that. That's cool. You should come join me sometime. Catch up on air. Come join me in here. It'll be fun. We'll chat or something. We'll figure that out. Love to do that. If you're up for it. Not to put you on the spot, but it'd be cool. All right, where were we here? Let's keep going. Zoran Mamdani.
But what if Mamdani becomes mayor?
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there. So I don't know that he's won, and I'm not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other, but if it's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest with you.
But what if...
True.
We have more nuclear weapons than any other country. I think we should do something about
This was another interesting exchange here.
denuclearization, and I did actually discuss that with both President Putin and President Xi. We have enough nuclear weapons to blow up the world 150 times. Russia has a lot of nuclear weapons. And
So, naturally, she asks, so why are the testing?
China will have a lot. They have some. They have quite a bit. But
So why
they
do we
don't
need
have
to
any-
test our nuclear weapons?
That's a fair question. For the aim is denuclearization, why a test? I'm very curious about that. It's a pretty interesting move by Trump.
Well, because you have to see how they work. You do have to. And the reason I'm saying testing is because Russia announced that they were going to be doing a test. If you notice, North Korea is testing constantly. Other countries are testing. We're the only country that doesn't test, and I don't want to be the only country that doesn't test.
Are you saying that after more than 30 years, the United States is going to start detonating nuclear weapons?
I'm saying that we're going to test nuclear weapons like other countries do.
mean, I have to assume it's underground testing. I mean, open air testing was banned back in like 60s or 70s.
But the only country that's testing nuclear weapons is North Korea. China and Russia.
Russia's testing nuclear weapons.
My understanding...
And China's testing them too, you just don't know about it.
That would be certainly very newsworthy. My understanding of what Russia did recently was test, essentially, the delivery systems for nuclear weapons, essentially missiles, which we can do that, but what not with nuclear weapons.
Russia's testing and China's testing, but they don't talk about it. You know, we're a open society. We're different. We talk about it. We have to talk about it because otherwise you people are going to report. They don't have reporters that are going to be writing about it.
Pretty interesting. It seems to infer there that, excuse me, both China and Russia, despite stating otherwise publicly, they are apparently engaging in nuclear testing. Have been all this time.
Who's tougher to deal with, Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping?
Both tough, both smart, both, look, they're both very strong leaders.
It's actually a decent question.
These are people not to be toyed with. These are people you have to take very serious. They're not walking in saying, oh, isn't it a beautiful day? Look how beautiful the sun is shining. It's so nice. These are serious people. These are people that are tough, smart leaders.
Who's tough?
Yep. From the outside looking in, I don't know. What would you all say? Xi or Putin? Xi. I'm gonna go with Xi. Easily. That's my answer.
Who's tougher to deal with, Vladimir?
Oh, we just did that. All right. Ooh, more on the Chinese. Speaking of.
Mr. President, you just negotiated this one-year trade deal with China. But as you know, the Chinese, they think in 100 years.
Sure.
They play the long game, including on our own soil.
We play the long game, too.
Our own intelligence agencies say the Chinese have infiltrated parts of the American power grid and our water systems. They steep...
There's an interesting little clip there from him, by the way. We play the long game, too. And we do. At least we do our best. I think legislative efforts definitely, you know, when they flip every 4 years or so, certainly get in the way of that. But the military definitely plans in decades, for sure.
Steal American intellectual property and Americans' personal information. They bought American farmland. How big of a threat is China?
It's like everybody else. We're a threat to them, too. Many of the things that you say we do to them. Look, this is a very competitive world, especially when it comes to China and the U.S., and we're always watching them, and they're always watching us. In the meantime, I think we get along very well, and I think I think we can be bigger, better, and stronger by working with them as opposed to just knocking them out.
Mr. President, you just...
Another excellent answer. Are Maduro's days as president numbered? Yes, he says.
Are Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say, yeah. I think so, yeah.
And this issue of potential land strikes in Venezuela, is that true?
I don't tell you that. I mean, I'm not saying it's true or untrue, but I wouldn't be inclined to say that I would do that. But because I don't talk to a reporter about whether or not I'm going to strike.
Are Maduro's days as...
Hilarious. Well, anyway, I already reviewed a bunch of these last night. I want to get to the morning's news here. There we go. Shutdown entering a 6th week. That's right. No end in sight. At least for the time being.
Republicans and Democrats are talking, so that is a bit of progress. But the reality is neither side is ready to announce an off-ramp. So now this shutdown is poised to be the longest in U.S.
Not going to stop until at least November 5th.
history. And President Trump sounds like he's not budging, telling 60 Minutes that he will be extorted by Democrats.
It's like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate?
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to...
Oh, thank you for reminding everybody, Methods. is reminding everyone in YouTube chat to please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. I should have done that. You do my job for me. But yes, everyone, please hit the thumbs up. Would much appreciate it. If you're watching on other platforms, to skip over to YouTube and give it a little knock.
Agree to something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, though, has defended the filibuster, and his position on that has not changed.
Yeah, I don't think he really truly means to do away with the filibuster. I think it's likely just a negotiating tactic, trying to dangle the possibility of losing the filibuster over their heads, which they most certainly do not want to do. I can't imagine that the Democrats want to do away with the one thing that could possibly allow them to kick the can down the road a little further, despite not having control of, well, anything for the next decade if things go well. This is like the only way they'll be able to drag things out. If they do away with the filibuster, they're really screwed. They got nothing. So
the shutdown causing massive headaches at airports, which have been bogged down by staffing shortages. There were several ground delays at airports across the country over the weekend. Those ground delays continuing this morning. As of right now, there have been nearly 500 delays and more than 40 cancellations per data from FlightAware.
Ouch.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns
within, into, or out of the U.S.
The situation could get worse if air traffic controllers take up other jobs to make up for missed paychecks.
Safety is my top priority, and it is. We will delay, we will cancel any kind of flight across the national airspace to make sure people are safe. We'll take all steps necessary, though, to make sure that you get from point A to point B and you do it safely.
Regarding SNAP, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says they're working to figure out the process after 2 federal judges ruled the administration must disburse benefits using contingency funds. Bessent says they could figure it out by Wednesday, but he's also urging Democrats to help reopen the government.
Yep. I don't know, man. Well, I wonder what Polymarket says here. Let's see what Polymarket betting is on end of government shutdown. What are people betting here? That's October later. Give me... Don't they have something more up to date? Here we go, 30 plus. I know there was one that went into, that had options that ran into, here we go. Jeez, what? People really think it's going to go on that long? Beyond November? You kidding me? It would really be something. I'm not going to say it's not going to, because I have no effing clue. I just know they're not going to do it before the 5th. The Obama Presidential Center in Chicago is edging up on $1 billion. Trying to withstand the apocalypse in this thing, or what are we doing with this? Golly. Nearing completion, set to open 2026. Oh, really? No joke. Obama refuses to endorse Zoran Mamdani. Interesting. You see what the little subtext here says. Former President Barack Obama talked with mayoral frontrunner Zoran Mamdani by phone, but withheld endorsing him. Oh, so they chatted, huh? Obama, who even endorsed the widely ridiculed Bill de Blasio, that's right, back in 2013, joined New Jersey Democratic gubernatorial candidate Mikey Sherrill in Newark on Saturday, but he didn't venture into New York City to throw his public support behind Moran Mamdani. Why not? Let's see what MSNBC is up to.
For the Democrats in New Jersey and in Virginia, particularly in New Jersey where there's a big Hispanic population, but in Virginia as well, I think that will be a lot of comfort to Democrats going into the midterms next year, if they can get those groups to bring them back from their Trump vote in 24.
And on the other side, given everything that's been in the headlines over the next year, if Republicans hold their numbers with Hispanic voters, that will be deeply worrying for Democratic candidates and Democratic strategists moving forward, and will suggest that this is more of a generational shift. We'll get the first glimmers of that.
For the Democrats in New Jersey and in Virginia,
A generational shift.
Numbers with Hispanic voters, that will be deeply over the next year. If Republicans hold their numbers with Hispanic voters.
Kind of the big question. Will they, with all of the, mainstream media propaganda about ICE, so on and so forth, will that have an effect? Very well could.
That will be deeply worrying for Democratic candidates and Democratic strategists.
But I don't know. A lot of Hispanic people are fed up with their shit, so it could go either way.
You about another matter. James Comey,
Another whining about the interview.
John Bolton, Letitia James were all recently indicted.
Oh, I missed
There's a
this. I missed this part.
Pattern to these names. They're all public figures who have publicly denounced you. Is it political
You
retribution?
know what? You know who got indicted? The man you're looking at. I got indicted, and I was innocent.
Yeah, what about that? Where were your questions about political retribution then, Nora?
And here I am because I was able to beat all of the nonsense that was thrown at me. And yet, when you go after a dirty cop like Comey, or a guy like Bolton, who I hear I don't know anything about it. I hear he took records all over the place, who knows? Letitia James is a terrible, dishonest person, in my opinion.
Did you instruct the Department of Justice to go after
Not in any way, shape, or form. No, you don't have to instruct
You didn't have to.
them because they were so dirty, they were so crooked, they were so...
People working in the lower levels are people like you and me. I've met a lot of them over recent days. The last, since the beginning of the year, and they want what we want, and they are working for it every day, very, very hard too. Very good people.
corrupt, that the honest people we have, Pam Bondi's doing a very good job, Kash Patel's doing a very good job, the honest people that we have go after them automatically.
But in a True Social post from September addressed to Attorney General Pam Bondi, President Trump endorsed the idea that former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James were, quote, guilty as hell, and wrote, quote, justice must be served now. 5 days later, James Comey was indicted. He pled not guilty, and so did Letitia James and President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Is this retribution on your
No,
part?
it's the opposite. I think I've been very mild-mannered. You're looking at
Like Clark Kent.
a man who was indicted many times, and I had to beat the rap. Otherwise, I couldn't have run for president. They tried to get me not to run for president by going after me and by indicting me.
His belief is if there had only been one case against him, like perhaps the documents case, he sort of, I'd say he jokes. He's not really even joking. He says it probably would have gotten me if it was just one case, but they were spread out all over the place. Did you find other prosecutors coming to the same conclusion as Donald Trump, that there was too much for the American people to digest. And there was this Manhattan case, which I will tell you, I still don't really understand the legal theory behind it. There was the massive fines coming out of the New York State case where you sit there going, okay, is that a little excessive? Which judges ended up saying it was. If you found Democrats or prosecutors that said, yeah, if they just focused on that case, on the documents, and gotten a
Is there a point you're working towards here,
fair jurisdiction,
Joe?
a judge that actually was interested in interpreting the law, then they would have been, they probably would have gotten Donald Trump in a conviction that mattered.
Joe, you really couldn't sum up the book better in terms of some of our inside details here, because
Good Lord.
prosecutors.
I'm done. Prosecutors now say the Louvre heist was carried out by petty criminals, not an organized crime ring. That's right. The crown jewels of France were stolen by some petty, probably migrant, crime ring.
And the Louvre heist work was pulled off.
You know, the people that pick pockets.
By petty criminals, as opposed to an organized crime ring. 4 people have been arrested and charged with stealing $100 million worth of royal jewels. Prosecutors say they were all locals living in a poor area of Paris. Despite the suspects in custody, authorities still haven't been able to recover the
So they've gotten 4 of them, huh?
stolen jewels just yet, as the
Wait, unable to recover?
They still haven't been able to recover the stolen jewels just yet, as the investigation
Wow.
continues. And the Louvre.
Interesting. This is going to make someone a heck of a movie. I mean, a bunch of bumbling pickpockets somehow end up stumbling into stealing the crown jewels of France. Like, it's perfect. I would love to make a film like that. It is Guy Ritchie movie, right? So many opportunities for comedy and jolly good fun with something like that. Okay. There will be a presidential-style 2026 RNC convention, and it will be used to surge low-propensity MAGA voter turnout based on Trump's policies, because only President Trump can turn these people out right now. Awesome idea, indeed. Okay.
I agree 100%.
Las Vegas? It'll be in Las Vegas?
And listen, we're 2-39 in the last 41 cycles in these off-cycle elections, and so we have to change the narrative. We have to do things different if we expect to win. And listen, the president is probably the best salesman in chief that we've ever had as a party chairman. But what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all the policies that the president's pushing. There's been nobody in the history of our country that's done more in the first 250 days than what President Trump has done. The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, additional child care tax credits. He is literally delivering for the average everyday American, and if we could highlight that over a couple of days, it's going to be phenomenal. Now, no details have been, stamped and they're not complete, and so I'm looking forward, just like you, to finalizing everything and making sure that we have a system in place so we can highlight everything great that the president does, because if our candidates follow the president's lead, we're going to win big.
Good move. Okay, road rage. Oh boy. Oh, I think I saw this one over the weekend. This insane, this moron here. Person physically assaulted the agent here after aggressively tailgating a Border Patrol vehicle and causing it to crash. I understand the perpetrator here in question very forcefully grabbed the genitalia of the officer sitting on top of him and would not let go of said genitalia. So naturally, said officer punched him in the head until he did. Is that the nut grab? Is that the nut grab right there? It might be the nut grab. I'm serious about the nut grabbing, by the way. I did read that. I think that actually came directly from DHS. Huggies maker Kimberly Clark to buy Tylenol maker Kenvue for $40 billion. Why? Who would even want that shit now? Do they make other things? I don't think so. As far as I'm aware, they weren't they like spun off of, I forget who originally made it, but weren't they spun off after some questions arose about Tylenol, like specifically to kind of silo the potential for any massive lawsuits ruining the company? So they basically like spun it off into its own company. Something like that. Secretary Hegseth concluded a successful trip to Vietnam, honoring 30 years of U.S.-Vietnam diplomatic relations.
Senator Song, thanks for your warm welcome.
Dang, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Martane665 in YouTube chat says, I'm a disabled veteran and my EBT was shut off. I am screwed when my food runs out. That blows. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're caught up in that. I mean, it's a tough one because people do depend on it, like legitimately. I've been at points in my life where I did, me and my family. Thankfully, not the case anymore these days, but it very well could be in short order. I can tell you that much. Wouldn't take much for me to be right back there. Unfortunately, there are also a lot of people that misuse and abuse the program, and we got to handle that. I hope we can figure out a way to take care of people like Martane in the process, you know, find some alternate way to get food to people who need it. Food banks, you know. Don't be afraid of asking for help. I mean, if it gets down to it, people are good people. Make a if it gets really rough, make a GoFundMe or something. You know, people will help. I don't know how much exactly they'll help, but you'll get some. People are kind. They can be anyway. If you give them the chance to. Trump reiterates call for Senate Republicans to nuke the filibuster, says it should be eliminated to pass policies like voter ID. Read his post here. All caps. He's yelling this. Terminate the filibuster, not just for the shutdown, but for everything else. We will get all of our common sense policies approved, voter ID, anyone, and make America great again. Remember, the Democrats will do it immediately as soon as they get the chance. Our doing it will not give them the chance. Republicans be tough and smart. The Democrats are crazed lunatics. They will not open up our country, no matter how many people are irreparably harmed. Yep. U.S. is apparently restoring an abandoned military base in Puerto Rico, potentially for operations in, well, that would make sense, Venezuela. Yep. Excuse me. Okay, according to Reuters, satellite images show construction crews clearing and resurfacing taxiways leading to the runway at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Base, which has been closed for about 20 years. Wow. A lot of damage can accrue over 20 years if it hasn't been kept up. I'm curious how much they've maintained things here. Guessing probably not that much. But that's you can reopen that. Clear away some of the dust and grime, you'll be fine. Okay. Anthropic says its Claude models show signs of introspection. Yeah, I'd heard this. Very weird. Let's see if we can find a YouTube video explaining this a little bit. Any brief explanations? Not 20-minute ones? Suppose not.
Put out this study, signs of introspection in large language models. And it feels like they're trying to drag that question, kicking and screaming, into the engineering lab.
They are.
Oh, creepy. It's an AI podcast. Oh, gosh. Weird stuff. Yeah, I saw an article on this the other day. Didn't really pick through it too much, but creepy stuff. Trump says China and other countries cannot have NVIDIA's top AI chips. Good. They shouldn't. That's long. We'll skip that. All right. Brooke Rollins. On my first day at USDA, we told every state to send us their SNAP data so we can make sure illegal immigrants aren't getting benefits meant for American families. 29 states stepped up. 21 blue states, however, refused, and 2 sued us for even asking. Wow.
Day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with DOGE and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits.
Oh, wow.
Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer.
Indeed. Gotta get done. It's been out of hand for a long time. 21 states that refuse to send their SNAP data to the USDA are, well, all the ones you'd expect. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and of course, Washington, D.C. is in the mix too. Virginia? Why? Interesting. Wonder how that played out. I mean, we got Youngkin in, so why? Not sure.
Day 2 of the president taking away SNAP.
Oh my God, this idiot.
Benefits for 20 million Americans. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Look, the big, beautiful bill is supposed to help everybody. The Argentinians got $40 billion. The president got $230 million, $300 million ballroom. I'm sure the grocery store is going to be packed.
What did you go at midnight? Just to make a stupid little TikTok video. Better get back home to Fang Fang. Right, she's warm in your bed. We all know it. Trump DOJ intervenes in long-simmering election integrity dispute over 2020 election in Georgia. Oh? How so? Okay. Let's see. Demanding Georgia's largest county turnover to federal officials records that they've refused to give under subpoena to state election regulators. Okay. Trying to dredge up some info. West of Fulton County, home to the city of Atlanta, was sent last week by Harmeet Dillon, assistant AG, whose division oversees election laws after the state elections board had tried unsuccessfully for months to get certain historical election records from the county. Now, I wonder why they'd be hiding those. I mean, the election was perfectly safe and protected, as we all know, right?
When we saw these numbers, we're like, what?
There's more on USDA. Democrats have filed a lawsuit against USDA for trying to find out how many illegals are receiving welfare benefits.
When we saw these numbers, we're like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing shock.
Wow.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident.
Wow.
And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister are all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed this in this direction. I want to honor them right now. That work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people.
Good for them.
I have been from the D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
Exactly what I told y'all earlier. There are very, very good people working at the lower levels in this administration that are doing everything in their power to make sure that all of this shit comes to a screeching halt.
This number, what this is.
That should give you some comfort. Take it from me. I'm as skeptical as they come. But there are good people doing good work.
Is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid. They'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview. Then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They can charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border, they do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which to appear to judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges, benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to
with Social Security numbers. Wild. Oh boy, protests have started over EBT being delayed. Oh look, they apparently had enough money to print up a nice banner. Fight, don't starve, hands off SNAP, hands off Medicaid, party for socialism and liberation. Had enough funds for that, I guess. Didn't want to feed some hungry kids with that money, maybe, or no, you just thought you'd bang on a drum and piss people off. Jeez, it's like music day at the special ed school. How cute. Where is this? What's going on here? The historic Conti Tower in central Rome has collapsed. What? That sucks. The medieval tower built between 1203 and 1238 was undergoing renovation when part of it gave way. 64-year-old worker was pulled from the rubble and hospitalized. Yikes. Ah, yes, historic Rome, right across the street from the local Chinese restaurant. Pretty crazy, though. Oh, geez, that sucks. Ouchie. Part of medieval tower. Oh, it's near the Colosseum. Ouch. Collapses during renovation. Bang, man.
Part of Torre dei Conti behind me collapsed at around 11:30 local time, followed by a second collapse shortly after.
Well, at least some of it's still there.
Just around 1 p.m. We are on Via dei Fori Imperiali, next to the Colosseum, right in the heart of Rome's historic center. We understand that the medieval tower had been abandoned for years and was undergoing renovation works. Three
Ouchie.
workers who were...
That sucks, man. Hate to see that. Ilhan Omar claims that Trump can hate all he wants. She's not going anywhere. Yeah, keep that up. Keep that up.
78 countries, 330 million Christians being persecuted around the world. It is the most persecuted religion across the Middle East and Africa and elsewhere. And to your point, relative silence from the international community. It is in the UN Charter as a basic human right. It's one of the things that Nicki Minaj is going to come over, and we're going to have her talk to the UN, talk to our experts, and actually hear from some of these pastors and others that have been so horribly persecuted. And I really welcome her engagement and her spotlight. 78.
Yeah. Good for her. Nicki Minaj, Miss WAP herself. That's right. Goes scorched earth on anti-Trump fans who slammed her for backing Trump's efforts to save Christians from extermination in Nigeria. Imagine hearing that Christians are being murdered and making it about you being gay. Oh, Nicki, you were one of us this whole time? I wrote you off because of WAP, but I can see perhaps I was mistaken. I mean, you probably shouldn't sing that song anymore, though. Kind of gross. But welcome to the party. Come on. Largest trucking capacity purge in history coming. Gonna get them all out, all the Singhs. We're gonna deport all the Singhs, the entire Singh family, all 200,000 of them. However many there are.
This is really one of the most interesting times ever.
Okay, let's see. Freight industry is experiencing what experts describe as one of the most interesting times ever in freight, though unfortunately not in a positive way for most participants. Most carrier and freight brokers across the spectrum are feeling significant pain from weak freight volumes and a rapidly changing operating climate. Huh. Indicators pointing toward what could become the largest capacity washout in trucking history. That would not be good. Excuse me. With the risk of the market eliminating 600,000 active drivers. Hell. Largest capacity purge in history may be coming, bringing COVID-like spot rates, which I assume that's like the rate at which they transport freight at. Like the amount of money they get per kilogram hauled or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but the difference this time is that there won't be a flood of immigrants created by Biden's open borders, which offered an endless supply of truck drivers. Well, fear not, there are a lot of young white men who would just love to have a job. See how that goes. I mean, ugh. Senator Eric Schmidt.
For the viewers at home to really understand the scope of this, it really is breathtaking. And I mentioned 100 times.
An Arctic frost. Okay.
Worth in Watergate. That may be an understatement. What happened was 3 days after President Trump announced he was running for president, the entirety of government and the Justice Department was weaponized against him to bankrupt him and his family and put him in jail for the rest of his life. So what happened? In Atlanta, a state case was, created to go after President Trump. The number 2 person in that case met with the White House. Alvin Bragg in New York began his criminal trial against President Trump, and the number 3 person left DOJ to go join Alvin Bragg's office. Then, of course, you have Jack Smith, who's notorious in prosecutor circles as the henchman you assigned to go get your person, the show me the man, I'll show you the crime kind of prosecutor. He's a total dirtbag. Brings this case against President Trump. But it wasn't just a war against a man, Peter. This was against a movement. So Arctic frost was going after not just President Trump, but sitting United States senators with subpoenas. The Republican Attorneys General Association, I happen to be the chairman of that organization at the time, Charlie Kirk's organization, this massive dragnet to sweep up people because they were Republicans. That was their crime. So this is sweeping. It's huge in scope. We're just getting this information right now because of whistleblowers. If President Trump wouldn't have won, all this stuff would be buried. But whistleblowers have come forward. We need Watergate-style hearings for months on this to continue that investigation. There ought to be probably charges brought, eventually resignations. And one final point, Judge Boasberg, who's become notorious from the FISA courts, also making a speech trying to thwart President Trump's agenda before President Trump got in. And then, of course, somehow ending up with all these cases in the D.C. area, even though he wasn't the assignment judge, actually wrote in an attachment to these subpoenas to the telecommunications companies that you can't tell Senator Cruz, you can't tell these other senators that the subpoena was out there because they would destroy evidence. That's just beyond the pale, and I think impeachment proceedings should begin in the House of Representatives.
Oh, they will. Mississippi mom says, "Oh yeah, the monkey, the frickin' what was it? What did it have? Herpa COVID? Hepatitis, herpes, and COVID? Herpa COVID." Mississippi mom says she shot and killed at-large monkey to protect her children from the Herpa COVID. Oh, poor Monk. He was a good boy. He just had a disease. He couldn't help it. He just wanted to go have fun and eat bananas. And, spread diseases and fun things. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie has announced he, married his new wife, Carolyn. Where'd you bag that one, Tom? Sheesh. Will reside on the farm in Kentucky where Carolyn recently helped me reestablish ducks and chickens to go with the beef cattle. All right. Yeah, that's right. His first wife passed away just about a year ago. Okay. This Minnesota Republican House Speaker Lisa DeMuth just announced her run for governor against Tim Walz. Yeah, I think I played this last night. We'll skip it. I wish her the best, though. I don't know how much luck people are going to have in Minnesota. Minnesota being what it is, but we can hope. Oh. New Jersey governor candidate Jack Ciattarelli.
Obama said you're sucking up to Trump.
Who said that?
President Obama.
President who?
Yes, exactly. Obama said you're
Obama said he's sucking up to Trump.
sucking up to Trump.
Who said that?
President Obama.
President who?
Yes, exactly.
President who? Nice. Bill Mayer is stunned as actor freaking Michael Rappaport tells him how unsafe New York City feels. I'll bet.
I want people to feel safe in New York City. You know, I want my wife to feel safe. My wife is a tough
language warning, apparently.
broad.
Just
She doesn't
fair warning.
feel safe in Midtown Manhattan during the day. Really? Yeah. And my wife
Really?
she's
Like, you're like going out for lunch?
I'm not saying she's like fucking shaking in her boots, but my wife in the last 2 or 3 years has been groped
Yeah.
in Times Square, has had a fucking shoe thrown at her, has been called the N-word, and got proposed to on the train by a homeless person, all between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. And when my wife got touched in the middle of the day coming out of a play, I'm not happy with that. And it was by like a homeless person. Like, I don't care that you're homeless. Don't touch my fucking wife. You know what I mean? And it bothered me so deeply that this happened to her, and that she's got a shoe thrown at her.
Why a shoe?
No, because a crazy person.
Just crazy.
Crazy. But when you touch my wife and my wife is violated, I get to thinking, I'm sorry that you're mentally ill. I'm sorry that whatever you're on and wherever got you to this place, but you're touching my wife at 3 p.m. on 47th and 6th.
I mean, were you there? Did you do something about it?
I want this person put the fuck away forever. Period. And there's other women in New York City that also feel uncomfortable and unsafe. And we're not talking about in the boroughs. I'm talking about in Midtown Manhattan, in downtown Manhattan. It's not cool for women to feel uncomfortable during the daytime in the greatest city on earth. It's also not cool that under any circumstances you could touch a police officer, not be from this country, come out the next day and walk out of the court like fucking Tupac.
Oh, that guy, yeah. That was nuts.
Like those guys did when they jumped, you know, like fucking giving the middle finger to photographers. Like, if you touch a policeman and you're not from the country, bye. Get the fuck out of here. Like, and I'm not one of these people, I know the police are not perfect, but if you touch a policeman, you should be in prison. Period. And you shouldn't be able to walk out of jail going, fuck, fuck you, fuck you, fuck. And this shit's been going on in New York City. But this thing with women not feeling comfortable in Manhattan during the day, I'm not down with that shit. It really deeply bothered me that happened to my wife. And like I said, she's not some laissez-faire, like head in the... She looks out for me when we're in the street. So like I was like...
Of course she does, you pussy.
Nope. And I'm comfortable saying, put him under the fucking...
Oh, God. He's a train wreck. All right. Judge again blocks Trump admin from deploying National Guard troops to Portland. There it is. There's the ruling. Now it's going to get bad again. The federal judge on Sunday barred Trump's administration from deploying National Guard to Portland until at least Friday, saying she found no credible evidence that protests in the city grew out of control before the president federalized troops earlier this fall. Wow. people getting shot not enough for you, or whatever. Excuse me. Don Duffy exposes how vile Chuck Schumer is. Why not?
Well, what is leverage? Their leverage is to hurt the American people, right? They're willing to hurt air travelers, whether they're going to a funeral, they're going to see family members. Pretty soon we're going to have kids coming home from college for Thanksgiving break. They're willing to endanger poor people who can't get food stamps. They're willing to risk subsidies in regard to health insurance. They don't care who they hurt. They care about power. By the way, we had an election a little less than a year ago, and Donald Trump crushed it. He won the popular vote. He won the 7 swing states. Democrats lost. And so if you want to pass legislation, you can introduce it, you can debate it, but government shutdowns trying to garner leverage is not the way that you do it. Debate it, vote on it, and
Well, it's the way they're doing it.
they come back and try to win elections. But they lost. Donald Trump won. And to now say that you are going to hurt the American people so Donald Trump has to talk to you, that's not the way you do business. The Trump administration and Republicans are not going to be held
This is the messaging that they should be hitting everywhere.
hostage by these kind of asinine tactics by Democrats.
That will affect people. That's what they need to be hitting on. Horror story. RFK Jr. reveals chilling organ harvesting scandal. Hold up. What?
HHS Secretary RFK Jr. was talking about organ harvesting in America yesterday. Now, I'm glad to see they're finally doing something about people being drugged and then waking up the next day in a tub full of ice, missing a kidney.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
It's a thing. It's apparently not just from the movies. It actually happens.
Because what's been happening is that people are slipped a Mickey in their drink. Okay. They pass out. They're taken to their hotel room. This happens in a lot of hotel bars. They're taken to their hotel room, and they're placed in a tub full of ice, and their kidneys are removed, and then sold
Kidneys are on eBay.
to some hospital somewhere.
Well, the
that
bad
needs
part of
kidneys.
it, Pat, is when you wake up in that tub of ice.
Yeah.
And you look at the mirror
At the
in
mirror,
the bathroom, and
right?
there's lipstick,
Right.
And it says "Call 911."
Right. Because I just took your kidney. Yeah. Yeah. It's even worse when it's your liver. Because then you wake up dead in that tub of ice.
So the thing is,
There's no need for the lipstick on the mirror, though.
No need.
The thing is, I know you haven't yet heard this clip from RFK from earlier this week, but you were damn close.
Close?
To
Really?
actual.
Is this a full clip of him, though?
Yeah, he's talking.
Get to the clip. Get to the clip, guys. Come on.
Can you just
get to the clip?
Bear with him, if you would, please, Jeffy.
I would rather you do it then. You go ahead and do that.
Here he is.
It's a horror story, and part of it is because of the capture of the.
So what's happening is he's going to talk about how the private companies have taken over this agency and all the
You could have just let the clip play.
stuff that's associated with this, and the government under.
Whatever. Sheesh. So I guess on a Newsmax segment, see if we can find it. Okay. No. Nope, I don't know. I don't see it here.
Kennedy calling for reforms to the organ donation system after alarming reports that doctors tried to remove organs from patients who still showed signs of life. Thank you, God, for Robert F. Kennedy stepping into HHS. Kennedy calling for reforms to the organ
So
donation.
this must have been spurred by that one guy a couple of months ago, right? That woke up like on the operating table when they were about to take his kidneys or something. Yeah, that's what it was. 3 months ago. Crazy story. Nigerian president responds to Trump's call for military action against Christian persecution. Are they gonna do their job? Okay. What did he say? We welcome U.S. assistance as long as it recognizes our territorial integrity. So they seem to be inferring that they can't do it themselves. Pito on Fox Business. I think that this week there's going to be at least 5 Democrats, because there have been, over the last several weeks, that are going to want to exert their will, come to their senses, open the government so that we can begin this negotiation. Seems like there's markers of Saturday. This is really butchered. Was when insurance premiums came out. Now it's election day on Tuesday. Whatever it is, I believe that this week could be the week. Could be the week that they end the shutdown. Believe it when I see it. Pizza shop pummel. A brawl inside a New Jersey Domino's spirals out of control. Why not? An officer gets struck in the back of the head with a chair or something. Kids being kids, you know, shit.
Tonight. Now we can talk about
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
the fun stuff. Michelle Obama. We brought the glitter. We
Cringe.
brought the gold sequin boots.
Double cringe.
Oh, are you talking about the boots that broke the internet? Yeah, that's. Come on now.
Are you talking about the boots that broke the internet?
The all-new special.
Yes.
And what led to this? Well, I'm gonna get you for that. Michelle Obama. The style, the.
You said we were all too aware that as a first black couple, we couldn't afford any missteps. Yeah. And you also say, as a black woman, I was under a particularly white, hot glare. Did you feel that?
For sure. You can't afford to get anything wrong because you
Because white people are looking at you.
didn't get the, at least until the country came to know us, we didn't get the grace that I think some other families have gotten.
Well, yeah, I mean, you ran the country into the ground. So why would you get any grace for that? Heritage Foundation crafts map of historical sites for, oh, neato, 250th anniversary with grades of accuracy. What? Accuracy like what? Oh, like they have displays that contain accurate information, I guess. Yeah, okay. Cool. Sites that demonstrate a pervasive neglect of comprehensiveness, accuracy, and proportionality, or even actively distort the subject matter of the site itself or the American story. So they're trying to kind of put some attention on these places where history is being rewritten by these psychos. Good. Yeah, the event I'm going to tonight is for the 250th. At the, let me see if I can find a view of it. It's going to be up on the roof of the Department of the Interior. Very cool building. There's the building. First built back in, what, 1936. Damn near 100 years old. Oh, there's the, I think that might be the view there. Oh, here you go, here you go. Very difficult to find pictures of this for whatever reason, but yeah, we get a nice view of DC. There's the Catholic Church. I think the monument's like right off the, yeah, there you go. Pretty cool. I don't think I've ever really gotten to see DC quite like this, so looking forward to this. Should be fun. Good, like 500 people or so. It's a pretty big event. Be some interesting people there too. part of it is I think they're previewing what do you call it? Like they're previewing some of the ideas for the 250th. The guy that's set to kind of be like the mastermind behind the whole thing is going to be there and kind of giving people a preview of what the 250th is going to entail and the ideas that they have. See how, kind of like a test run, see how people respond to things. Should be really interesting. I'll try to take photos and let you guys know how it goes. Amazon and OpenAI have agreed to a $38 billion deal to expand compute capacity. All right, what's this? Chamath, a legal immigrant, tells Pete Buttigieg that he feels safer under Trump.
Feels to be in this country, the better off Donald Trump is, whether he's running for president or whether he is president. And sending troops marching into the streets.
Can I just say, as the only immigrant right now on this podcast who immigrated here legally, I feel much safer and better under a Donald Trump presidency than I ever did under a Biden presidency. Just want you to hear it from my mouth for what that's worth.
Do you feel safer about the fact that a Latino doctor crossing the street in Washington, D.C. is getting hassled or harassed because they're brown?
I don't think that I've heard that. Now,
okay, so you're not aware of any case in which a U.S. citizen who is...
no.
Like
But I will tell you, for example, after 9/11...
Wait, you're on a podcast commenting about immigration. Surely you have some level of awareness.
Let me tell you, after 9/11, for example, for years I had SSS on my boarding passes. And I was pulled over constantly, and people probably thought that I was a Muslim hijacker. So I know what it feels like to be harassed, and what I'm telling you categorically is I feel safer in this presidency than I've ever felt, and I'm just letting you know that. Just
wow,
it's just my lived experience.
Wow, interesting exchange. I missed the first part. I had to run upstairs or click it. Wow.
Feels to be
presidency than I ever did under a Biden presidency. Just want you to hear it from my mouth for what that's worth.
Do you feel safer about the fact that a Latino doctor crossing the street in Washington, D.C. is getting hassled or harassed because they're brown?
I don't think that I've heard that. Now,
okay, so you're not aware of any case in which the U.S.
Because one thing happened to one person in a situation that we really know no details about, somehow he should feel less safe.
Citizen who is
no.
Like
but I will tell you, for example, after 9/11.
Wait, you're on a podcast commenting about immigration.
Oh my God!
Level of awareness.
Let me tell you.
White privilege, Pete.
After 9/11,
your white privilege is showing, Pete.
For years, I had SSS on my boarding passes. And I was pulled over constantly, and people probably thought that I was a Muslim hijacker. So I know what it feels like to be.
Wow. Speaker Johnson drops the mic. All right.
You go to the third one.
Just happened about 30 minutes ago.
False claim number 3, Democrats are fighting for health care. You've heard this over and over and over. Let me say something very simply about this false claim. It is the Democrats who created Obamacare. It is the Democrats who did that without any Republican votes. It's the Democrats who, by extension, have cost the American taxpayers and people who have health insurance have made their costs skyrocket. It is their policies that made that happen. And so instead of reforming it, the Democrats don't reform Obamacare. They want to subsidize it. They want to spend more taxpayer dollars. That, by the way, goes mostly to insurance companies, which makes the cost rise further. That's the Democrats' plan. When they passed Obamacare in 2010, they called it the Affordable Care Act. We know the truth is exactly the opposite. By some estimates, premiums have risen 60% in many categories since they passed that bill into law. Now, the fact is the opposite. Republicans are the ones fighting to save health care. Why? It's not just talking points to us. We do this. We have ideas, and we have already implemented ideas and measures to reduce costs, increase access and quality, and eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. Now, why do we say it's not just a talking point? Why do we say the Republican Party is the only one advancing common sense reform solutions? because we've proven it. We did that in the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cut. We took a look at Medicaid, and we took on that challenge. We took action to reduce fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicaid. We got able-bodied young men without dependents off the program. We got illegal aliens off the program, and we saved $185 billion just to start. We got millions of ineligible enrollees off the program, and it preserved it. It strengthened Medicaid for the people who rely upon it, which is the elderly, disabled, and young pregnant women, as we always use as an example. No, it's not about health care. That is a false claim, and everybody knows it. Everyone in America, and certainly everybody in this room, understands that this is about something else.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we got a couple more rolling in. Thank you, Steph. An incredible story in 3 parts. Oh, yeah, Scott Adams. Yeah. Scott Adams went on X the other day, said his healthcare provider had been dropping the ball on scheduling his procedure to treat his metastasized prostate cancer. President Trump's team immediately intervenes. RFK Jr., Dan Scavino, and even the president himself was made aware that this was happening. Scott got the help he needed. I don't know if he's actually gotten the procedure yet, but hopefully by today it will have happened. Oh, what? Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Mississippi law enforcement caught working with the cartel. 20 officers indicted for aiding drug smuggling into America. 20 freaking officers, dude. In one spot, one tiny little place. Wow. Let me see if I can find any coverage of this one. Here we go.
Happening, the FBI announcing indictments against 20 people, including 14 current and former Mississippi and Tennessee police officers in a drug-related bribery probe. So prosecutors accuse the officers of providing escort services to drug traffickers in exchange for bribes. So joining us live now is
Wow.
Anna Schechter, head of our crime and policing unit. So Anna, let's talk about this. How is law enforcement handling this? How are they tipped off about this alleged scheme?
Well, it is a scheme right out of Hollywood. You had an undercover FBI agent posing as a member of a Mexican drug cartel, paying bribes to current and former law enforcement agents to provide safe passage, almost like
Freaking interesting.
Like a police escort for 50 pounds of cocaine, and then the illegal proceeds, cash, that they were then paid in bribes back to those law enforcement agents who helped out with this scheme. It is elaborate. It took years to...
So wait, were they ever at any time actually working with the cartels, or were they just working with FBI agents pretending to be the cartel?
To pull these indictments together, and it really does read just like a Hollywood script.
Yeah, it sounds...
Either way, I mean, what the frick?
Sounds like it. They were playing right into the hands of the drug dealers. So how did the officers disguise themselves to the alleged bribers?
Well, they were essentially saying, okay, on the down low, they were armed, and they would drive, sometimes even in their police cruisers, other times in other vehicles, essentially operating as protection for this transport. But I want to just remind our viewers that these FBI agents who work these cases, this is such dangerous work. They are posing as criminals, and that is how they are able to get all of these details and present a case. Essentially, they are the first line developing these cases against these individuals. I also want to remind our viewers that in recent years, Mississippi law enforcement, sheriffs, sheriff's deputies' offers have been accused of a number of just a lot of bad behavior. One involving inside a corrections office with an inmate, other schemes, and so clearly the FBI has been taking a very close look at the Mississippi Delta, and the drug running in that area is significant. So it's interesting that we are learning just in the last 24 hours that it was actually sheriffs and their deputies who were helping along drug trafficking and with drugs that have ravaged communities across the country. That's one of the biggest issues that our society faces. So really shocking to learn that it was actually law enforcement involved in one of these major schemes.
Huh. It is interesting, isn't it? Okay. Microsoft announces $15.2 billion in AI investments in the UAE. Let me see what else we can find here in the last 10 minutes or so.
Significance of the Obama endorsement. It's a huge deal, and anybody who doesn't believe me should ask Presidents Hillary and Kamala. Okay, him getting out there on the trail. They love the nostalgia aspect, but you know who doesn't? Voters. He has a really bad record down ballot. I believe he holds a record as president for the most seats lost underneath him, because he is not who they get to vote for. It's the uninspiring candidate. But the fact that he's still out there really speaks to the vacuum at the top of the Democratic Party right now. Why are they sweating to the oldies? This dude left office in 2016. If you're the party of the youth, you need to be showing us next week's hot thing, not 2016's. Like significance of the Obama.
All right. Oh, okay, why not? Fetterman.
Deeply distressing to know that 42 million Americans are going to lose their SNAP benefits. And now that's one of the big reasons why I refuse to shutting our government down. And again, I feel like the Democrats really need to own the shutdown. Deeply distressing to know that 42 million.
Two of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these. Yes, sir.
Making seafood boils on EBT.
Two of these, one of these.
Gotta get him crab legs.
One of these, one of these, one of these.
Okay. DC Board of Medicine must review every action taken by Dr. Kevin O'Connor while serving as White House physician to Joe Biden. James Comer here.
House Oversight Committee just dropped a scathing report full of bombshell allegations that the big guy's team covered up his cognitive decline. Biden's team spent the past 4 years insisting he was sharp as a tack. Maybe it's because his fiercest defenders only saw him twice.
I had an external-facing role, and so, it was not unusual that I would have, fairly infrequent interactions with the president himself.
So, weekly, monthly, what are we talking about?
Very infrequent. I think I met with the president a handful of times during my tenure in the White House.
But some Biden diehards are doubling down, still trying to convince us that Biden bombed the debate because he had the sniffles.
That was a cold, a flu, a virus. That's between him and his doctor, but he had been under the weather that whole period of time.
And you've known President Biden for many years. Had you ever seen him have a cold or the flu before?
Yes.
Did he ever behave the way that he did during the debate?
Not that I ever saw.
And Biden's top campaign aide admitted he got paid $4 million to work on the big guy's reelection, and would have gotten another $4 million if he could have lugged Joe over the finish line.
Were there any circumstances in which you would have received a bonus?
Yes, it was.
What were those circumstances?
That Joe Biden would have been reelected president of the United States.
What would the bonus have been?
I believe it would have been $12 million.
In addition to the $4 million that you were already paid?
Yes.
You think he had an incentive to keep him on the ticket? But for $4 million, I think anyone would run a Weekend at Bernie's Part 3. We all knew Joe was asleep at the wheel. What we still don't know is who was running the country and who signed all those pardons. Was it the Easter Bunny? Oversight says, since we have no idea, they're all null and void.
No one who authorized AutoPen or actually physically manually pressed the power button on AutoPen ever heard directly from Joe Biden. And furthermore, there are no notes, there's no chain of custody that would show that Joe Biden was involved in any meetings where they discussed the pardon process. This is a massive cover-up, and what we determined was every pardon should be declared null and void.
And all of a sudden, the left is against investigating former presidents.
Instead of investigating a man.
I think you're going to see them all drop eventually, except for Hunter.
Who's no longer in office, I want the government shut down to figure out what's going on because it's getting.
And even that might too. I don't know. Maybe even Hunter's, depending on how things play out. I don't know.
Getting ready to be the longest one in history.
We know who shut the government down, Whoopi. It's the Democrats. Case closed. But the AutoPen probe is just beginning. Attorney General Pam Bondi is on the case. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer joins me now. So you've been looking at this now for a better part of a year. Are you narrowing, is your committee narrowing down to a number of suspects who you think are singularly responsible for this, and what kind of punishment are they facing?
Well, look, if they were operating as President of the United States, if they were forging the President of the United States signature on pardons and executive orders and other legal documents, then I think those are pretty serious crimes. The Oversight Committee, we investigate. Once we conclude an investigation, we publish a report and we make referrals and recommendations based on the overwhelming evidence that we accumulated in the form of emails, in the form of notes and documents from National Archives, and in the form of hours and hours of depositions. We concluded that there was a massive cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. The staffers knew it. That's why they discussed whether or not to give him a cognitive test and then ultimately declined against it. That's why Dr. O'Connor pled the Fifth Amendment to avoid self-incrimination. But even further, there's no evidence that Joe Biden was ever involved in any of the decision-making. And normally when you have meetings and discussions on things like pardons and other high-profile events that would be presidential level, you would have notes, you would have meetings, there would be emails, there would be things in the schedule for meetings. Nothing pertaining to Joe Biden. We gave every staffer, the 12 staffers that we brought in for depositions were the ones that we knew had the influence over the AutoPen. They all were inconsistent in the process. The emails were even contradict what the deposition said. And at the end of the day, I think we've gotten as much information as we can get to determine what we've determined. Now we've handed it over to Pam Bondi, and we've made notes to the Attorney General. If there's further things that we can do as a committee, we'll do them. But we're going to wait for guidance from her. This is a serious issue, and all those pardons should be declared null and void.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, going back to the process about how this happened. From my understanding,
and there are people working on that very thing. Have been for a long time.
Reading your report, many of the pardons were issued based on memos that were signed JB for Joe Biden. Was there anybody else in the White House with the initials JB that you think might have signed some of those memos?
Well, think about this. What they're trying to say on the memos for the AutoPen is that some staffer would type up a memo, then hand the memo to Joe Biden. The memo would say that someone would have the authority to sign Joe Biden's name. Joe Biden would read that memo and say, okay, and then initial his initials on it, and then hand it back to the staffer, and then they would go take that document that just needed one signature that would have taken the same amount of time for him to sign as it would for him to initial, and then use the AutoPen. Look,
yeah, what?
There were emails from the Department of Justice during the American...
That is just absurd.
Garland time to the staffers asking if Joe Biden was even involved in the process, warning the staffers of the excessive use of the AutoPen. And, you know, again, I think that at that point, the response from the Biden administration was, when they were talking about the use of the AutoPen, was Joe Biden was verbally giving them authority to use it. Then they come back and they have these discovery of these memos. I mean, just complete inconsistencies. And that's why we think the Attorney General needs to take it with the full force of the Department of Justice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, maybe I'm crazy, but I do think it's kind of interesting that there was another person in the White House with the initials JB, as in Joe Biden, which I think
of who
bears investigation at the very least.
Who would that be?
James Comer.
I don't know. Maybe it's someone that isn't publicly very widely known. Maybe. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on it, and I got nothing. All right. Any last minute little bits here? The IQ of Europeans is dropping due to technology. Gee, I mean, it couldn't possibly be, I don't know, an influx of third world peoples that have IQs below 80? Couldn't be that. It's technology? You sure? What? Trump targets Seth Meyers after catapult jokes probably illegal? The jokes are illegal? Tell me more. What is that? I have no idea what that means. During NBC's Late Show on Friday, Meyers played for his audience a clip of Trump talking about catapults and then asking which is better, the electric or the steam. What, electric or steam catapults? Steam, obviously. Steampunk forever. They're spending billions of dollars to build stupid electric. I'm going to sign an executive order when we build aircraft carriers. It's steam for the catapult. Wow, so he actually agrees. Okay, I'm with Steam too. I'm on Team Steam. Steam for the catapults. They spent $993 million on the catapults trying to get them to work. I'm on board with that. Steampunk future. Bring it on. All right. Oh, hold on. We'll do this one too.
This is outrageous about AT&T and Verizon. Can you tell us more about what you went through?
Well, sure. Maria, good morning. Good to be with you. Arctic frost is Joe Biden's Watergate. And in fact, in terms of abuse of government power, it makes Watergate pale in comparison.
Oh, yeah.
In November of 2022, Donald J. Trump announced his re-election campaign for president. 3 days later, the Biden Justice Department appointed Jack Smith. His mission, ostensibly, was to investigate what had happened 2 years before on January 6th. But remember, the Biden DOJ had been locking up little old ladies who were protesting on the National Mall. They'd been doing that for 2 years. Jack Smith was appointed with one mission: stop Donald Trump. Do not let the American people vote for Trump as president. And he took his orders and launched a dragnet, the scope of which has never been seen. He issued at least 197 subpoenas directed at over 430 individuals and organizations, all Republicans. So he went after the Republican Attorney General's Association. He went after Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. He went after Citizens United, and he issued subpoenas to 9 U.S. senators, all Republicans. I was one of them. The subpoena he sent to my cell phone record, AT&T, was for my cell phone records, my voicemails, my texts, the communications in and out, the geolocation. And he sent it to AT&T. As you noted, AT&T did the right thing. Their lawyers looked at this subpoena and said, we can't hand this over. This is protected by the speech and debate clause. However, AT&T also got on top of that subpoena an order signed by Judge Boasberg that ordered AT&T, you cannot let Cruz know about this subpoena because, as you just read, he found as a judicial matter that if I was notified, I would destroy or tamper evidence and tamper with witnesses. Now, that is absolutely absurd. Verizon, unfortunately, did hand over the records of 8 senators. The speech and debate clause did not dissuade them from doing so. And we've now found out those other 8 senators, those subpoenas also came with judicial orders saying you could not tell the senators.
So
when
crazy.
you have the Biden Department of Justice subpoenaing 20% of the Republicans in the Senate, it is an egregious abuse of process. It is a fishing expedition. And we need to have a full and thorough investigation and accountability for every executive branch official that signed off on weaponizing the government. And I believe that the House of Representatives should impeach Judge Boasberg. Judge Boasberg was the one who made findings that he had no basis for. And when he did that, he took off his judicial robe. He just became a partisan crusader. He joined with Jack Smith in the mission to try to stop Donald Trump from being reelected. Thankfully, the voters prevailed.
Indeed. All right. Well, we're actually a couple minutes over here. We'll call it there. How you doing, Sir Fedora?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good, too. Yes,
Good.
indeed.
That Arctic frost is going to be a big thing, I think.
Yep.
Going to kick
Huge.
some senators in the butt to get some things done for sure.
Yeah, finally. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I got to go get in the shower and get ready to go, so we'll leave it in your hands,
well,
sir.
You have a great day.
Will do. Have a good show.
Uh-huh.
See ya.
Hello, everyone.
All right, everybody on YouTube, that's it for me. No more. I got no more. Nothing left. But yes, I gotta go jump in the shower and get ready to go. We got 2 events. We're going to 2 events here, so I gotta go get looking snazzy and, you know, get all done up. Radix is doing it around the corner, getting ready. So we got a busy day. Rest of the day here. She will be back in time for her show. She's not going to the Department of the Interior event. That's just gonna be me. She's got to get back here for you guys. So you will see her, but I will be busy. I will be busy having fun on a rooftop in DC. Schmoozing with God knows who. It's always interesting seeing who shows up to these. So always fun. You get to meet some interesting people. Highly recommended if you're ever in the area and you have the opportunity to go to events like this. Good thing to do. Good way to network and meet like-minded people in such a screwed up area. Where we got to stick together around here. Bad. All right. Well, I guess that does it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow evening, and I will definitely try to take some photos and videos, and I'll let you guys know how fun it was. All right, bye-bye.